the other thing that is that it's a copycat league. And everyone's going to take a look and say, I want that. This team has made the Super Bowl, and I want that. And I guess, how do you copycat what New England's done? Which is hold on to your third overall draft choice, because that's going to be the quarterback that's going to go to the Super Bowl from the draft class first, not the ones taken above him. It's very rare that you go quarterback to start a draft like 2 years ago, and the third one taken is the one that goes. The one that was second overall got close last year in the NFC Championship game in Jaden Daniels. Didn't get there. But Drake May is in. And his first year, he didn't start the entire year. He had a coach that clearly wasn't fitting, or the ownership group thought wasn't working. And they're going to take that quarterback with the rest of his draft class and this year's draft class and add some free agents and then hire a new coach who's somebody who knows your area very well because he won 3 Super Bowls as a player for you. and that, you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to
with the OC who won 3 others.
Right. And get that guy back just in time, right? To save the quarterback that you got third overall last year from a fate, say, like Sam Darnold, who's now in the Super Bowl, chosen third overall in 2018, and he was part of a draft class in the first round that had 5 quarterbacks taken. He was the second one taken third overall, but he is the first of that draft class in the first round to make a Super Bowl. And that's where, if I am an owner in the National Football League, by the way, I just raised my net worth.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
Considerably raised my net worth.
Yeah. You're buying.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I might need a loan.
Well, which means I now own a piece of ESPN.
Oh,
hey, now.
Which means, listen.
You're your own boss.
There's so many different ways I can go here now. All right. And so I would say, let's find us one of those. Certainly when you're taking a look at a team that just got beaten by Drake May a couple weeks ago, and you're the Houston Texans, and you're now in a position to say, do we pay C.J. Stroud $50-something million a year based on what we've seen already? Do we feel he is the guy that we should give a $200 million contract to right now, as opposed to getting us a Sam Darnold, which would be a very risky move because it's very unconventional to take a kid that you've already gotten. I'm just using Houston as an example for many reasons. Because, they're the ones who are going to be next up trying to figure out what to do with their quarterback in C.J. Stroud. Do they extend him? He has made the playoffs in the second round all 3 of his years. He has won a playoff game in each of his first 3 years, but then hit his head on a ceiling. And that is better than what we've seen from Sam Darnold. But would I rather go and get somebody who doesn't cost the same, who maybe hasn't gotten a chance and is ready to succeed based on seasoning, based on the amount of time in the league? Do you see where I'm going with this? Because if I'm also choosing Houston as an example, now, which AFC team is built like Seattle the most? Or which NFC team is built like the Texans the most? There's a lot of connective tissue here with a superb defense that's been drafted well. On top of that, you also get somebody like Danielle Hunter to add to your terrific defense, a veteran who's been at it a while. DeMarcus Lawrence, to me, feels like the Danielle Hunter of this equation. Do you see where I'm going with this? Nico Collins might be the JSN, although the JSN is younger and has better production. it seems like everything is set up similarly, although Seattle's offensive line, I think, is a little bit better. I'm kind of comparing apples to apples here about if you take Sam Darnold and put him on this Houston Texans team, this current version of Sam Darnold, put him on a Houston Texans team. Could C.J. Stroud become the next Sam Darnold? Entirely possible. But I am an owner of the NFL. I don't want to pay somebody 50-something million bucks a year unless he's already made a championship game or a Super Bowl. You've been advocating for this for a long time. Yeah. That you don't have to pay somebody that you've drafted highly all that money and then get stuck on the hook if that person's not the real thing. Look at Tua Tagovailoa and what's happened in Miami.
Exactly.
Look what's happened with Kyler Murray and Arizona. You don't have to do it. And Sam Darnold is now out there. And Jimmy G took a team to the Super Bowl. And the other ones that have gone to the Super Bowl in recent days are teams like the Chiefs, obviously, who drafted well and went with their guy and immediately saw success and don't have to worry about who's their quarterback and you pay him for the future. You sign him for a gajillion years and lock him up and throw away the key, which is what the Patriots are in right now. That situation. So at the end of the day, if the Seattle Seahawks win, everyone's going to be like, I want a Sam Darnold. And I would want to build a team that way. And we're going to talk about that with Mike Mayock in short order. Or if the Patriots win, I'm going to be like, I want to build it like New England. Although I think it's easier to build a team like the one in Seattle, because how are you going to find a kid like Drake May? In this year's draft, there's no guarantee. In last year's draft, we saw Drake May, we saw Caleb, we saw Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix. If he didn't get his ankle broken, would have played in an AFC championship
quarterback
game
is a major crapshoot, but the Patriots built that defense through free agency. And so that, that is a path that teams can take.
Yes. And the fact that Drake May has made it and Jaden Daniels almost made it and Caleb Williams flashed this year and clearly appears to be the real deal. And Bo Nix made it but couldn't answer the bell because his ankle got broken. Who does that leave from last year's draft? The injured Michael Penix Jr. and the oft-injured JJ McCarthy. And who made the Super Bowl for the Seattle Seahawks? Sam Darnold, who was in Minnesota, who had 14 wins last year for Minnesota, who then left Minnesota, goes to Seattle, takes them to the Super Bowl, while the Vikings have an up-and-down season with JJ McCarthy. When he was not healthy, in comes Carson Wentz, who is up and down, and then Carson Wentz gets hurt, and then they got to go to Max Brosmer, and they still had a 9-8 season because they won their last 5 games and fired their general manager anyway. And that's what happens when you let somebody walk out of the building who then goes to a Super Bowl. And Justin Jefferson, this past weekend, he's been awesome all year long, not throwing anybody under the bus. Many other wide receivers in this league would have said something passive-aggressive by now or fully aggressive by now. That would have put J.J. McCarthy further on the griddle and then the front office further on the griddle and the head coach potentially in a spot where he's got to say, knock it off. He didn't do that all season long. And a lot of his recent comments over the weekend, I believe, in a podcast involved with USA Today, the comments are clanking everywhere. And here's what he had to say with Sam Darnold making the Super Bowl in Seattle.
Does a part of you feel like, hey, if you ran it back one more year, maybe that could have been you?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, definitely. Especially, everyone knows the difficulty of the quarterback position this year, of how we was dealt it. But of course, having a quarterback that's already had the season under his belt with us, knew the plays, knew the playbook, knew the players, of course, throwing to me, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, all of these guys. I definitely felt like we would have done better. But it is what it is. It's on to new and better things. But I'm definitely happy and proud for him that he was able to reach it this year.
You know what? I don't have a problem with a single syllable he just said. There's no question the Vikings would have been better with Sam Darnold this year. There's just no doubt about it. Now, we have the 2020 vision of looking back at it, and we definitely have a results-based opinion sitting here on the first Monday of February of Super Bowl week, with Sam Darnold getting set to be front and center for the next 6 days and potentially for the rest of his life if he wins 6 days from now. But the Vikings, in the same way that I'm talking about how do you build a team, the Vikings were hoping that JJ McCarthy would be this Drake May, which means, by the way, next year would be his Super Bowl year. And he would come in to season 2 with pretty much the same first-year experience as Drake May, because May didn't start his first full year. Sadly for the Vikings, JJ McCarthy could have had his first full year be Drake May's type of first full year had he not blown his knee out in training camp. And it's that simple. If for the preseason he got through it healthy, then 2 years ago would have made this year his leap year. And instead it was his first year where you go through the ups and downs. And Sam Darnold, 100%, knowing the offense, knowing everything, coming back, having a contract, having everything that he had in Seattle, which is, you're our guy. We choose you. We don't choose someone else. You're our guy. As a matter of fact, we got rid of our guy. We sent our guy to our old coach guy in Vegas for you. We put an offer on the table where you don't have to look over your shoulder and go, Drew Lock. No big deal. You don't have to look over your shoulder and go, oh, that's the kid that they drafted and definitely want to start here at some point. You can't blame Minnesota for figuring out, this is our kid. We drafted our kid. We're going ahead with our kid this year. It's just the timing was off. Unless you just wanted to tell JJ McCarthy, this is called the National Football League. It's called not for long. You had your shot. Your knee got blown out. And it's Sam Darnold's team. And you're going to be Jordan loved for as long as we want. And you're not going to have a single thing to say about it. And use this year as another year for you to get better. And we'll see what happens in year 3 or 4. But this is Sam Darnold's team. And then as soon as that guy began to struggle, or the offensive line that J.J. McCarthy struggled behind, and Carson Wentz got hurt behind, and J.J. McCarthy got hurt behind again because it was a revolving door. Do we know if Sam Darnold would have walked through this season healthy? There's so much happening with 2020 hindsight. And all you got to do is take a look at the fact that the Vikings fired their general manager Friday of Pro Bowl week, right? Friday of Pro Bowl week, Friday of Senior Bowl week, pardon me, and Pro Bowl week, I guess, Pro Bowl games week, my bad. The only thing that changed between the end of the regular season and the Friday of Senior Bowl week to cause the Vikings to say everything that you heard over the weekend about why they, rumors coming out about why the Vikings general manager was fired.
Ridiculous.
None of that, in my mind, is a fireable offense, nor is none of that anything different than firing him the Monday after the regular season, which, by the way, finished with 5 straight wins. And the Friday of Senior Bowl week, the only thing that's different is Sam Darnold made the Super Bowl. And word is Kevin O'Connell's like, yeah, our kid's not ready. We kind of need Sam here, but why would Sam stay there? After we heard, well, he hit his head on the ceiling in the finale against Detroit. He hit his head on the ceiling against the Rams. He's not the guy. Is he the guy? Is he really the guy? Or was the 14-win guy the guy? And the Seattle Seahawks were like, yeah, that's the guy. Let's go get him. Let's trade Geno Smith and go get him. So at the end of the day, I want to have a guy that I'm paying $30 million a year to go to the Super Bowl with already 6, 7, 8 years of experience bouncing around. I'll take a shot on that guy rather than maybe signing somebody who's won a playoff game and say, here's $55 million and we're locked into you for a while and this better work. I'm an owner. I'm saying I'd rather do that. Obviously, I'd rather have the Drake May pick. That's the winner of them all. Yeah. But that might be more of a unicorn than Sam Darnold.
Well, that leaves them open to, like Chris said, to spend close to $300 million to upgrading that roster.
Jeez.
You can't do that unless you have a quarterback on that first.
Don't forget the way the Viking season ended and the way that everyone was talking about Sam Darnold. And Sam basically reading the room and going, yeah, they want to play the kid at some point. I'm going to a spot where there is no kid, and I'm the guy. And I'm up there in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm going to do what I need to do in relative quiet, peace and quiet compared to the rest of the media world and its focus.
Also, Rich, what were they really thinking would have been good for Justin Jefferson?
Well, what he was really thinking is again, what he's really thinking is we would have been better with Sam Darnold. I understand why we stuck with the kid. I do see some moxie in the kid. And let's hope the kid is next year's Drake May.
Or he could.
That's why I would as well.
I was on a record-breaking trajectory for my career, and this year I put up the worst numbers I have in the season where I,
which is again
played a full season.
Kudos to him that he didn't go all off all season long.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying,
and this is basically,
really
and if everybody's saying this is him going off, he had every right to say what he just said. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.